Hello, everyone, and welcome to But Did You Die with the Jet Sisters, the podcast where we talk about all things travel tips, travel news, and travel disasters, which we've had quite a few. So listen to us and then don't do that thing that we did.
I'm Rachel.
I'm Angie. Hey, we're getting there. This is episode 18, which
That's
is,
wild.
from what I understand, from what I have been told, this is more episodes than most people who start podcasts ever get around to doing. So, huge pat on the back to us for sticking with it and being awesome.
Good job, us. And we have many more things to talk about, so I don't see us stopping anytime soon. Even today's topic is going to turn into two types of things, so we'll get there later. But hello, we are back. We have recovered from our jet lag. We went to Sweden. We're there for about a week, came back, and have lots of tips. Sweden, we're going to talk all about that next week. But this week, something a little different. But of course, before we get into that, should we just dive right into travel news? Because it's crazy out there.
Yeah, let's do it because having just been out there in the airports in other countries, we were just in Finland, Sweden, and Spain en route
And
coming
Miami.
and
And
Miami,
Dallas.
which is definitely its own country. Yeah, we've been to some places. We've seen a preview of what summer travel is going to look like, and I think if we can sum it up in one word, it's busy.
I have to say this before we continue. Anyone listening, if you're not from America and you flew into the Miami International Airport and that was your first taste of America, I am so sorry. Miami, you were screwing up. That was terrible and scary. And I live here.
Right.
Unprofessional.
And I speak English, and at no point was there anyone in any language communicating where you're supposed to go, because when you travel internationally, you come into Miami, they spit your bag out, you have to go, then you have to go drop it off, then you have to go through security again. So this is a whole nightmare as it is. For whatever reason, there's no signage. They were just like, you're out, good luck, figure it out, we don't know where you're supposed to go. There was nobody assisting, but there was a lot of yelling.
Yeah,
Like,
and I've never been to prison, but it felt like prison. There
yeah.
with no murals, no welcome. It was trash.
It was ghastly. It was a dump. All of the trash cans were overflowing, like in the terminal. What? This is not a music festival. This is a flippin' airport in the United States of America. Like, clean it up, Miami. Miami's disgusting.
This is a welcome mat. This was a welcome mat to America, and epic fail.
I posted about this on Threads, and first of all, reading comprehension continues to be at an all-time low. Everybody's dumb, but the people who did understand what I was trying to say were like, yeah, avoid Miami. You should fly into, if you want Southern hospitality, fly into Jacksonville. I'm like, well, no doy, but they don't have flights from Madrid into Jacksonville. And that's the problem, is that you're kind of funneled through Miami for a lot of places, and yikes on bikes. I've been to Miami many, many times, and it has just gotten worse. So
it was bad. It was bad.
Big thumbs down for MIA. Yuck to you, Miami. Yuck to you.
So anyway, back to travel news.
Travel
which
is so fun.
Everybody's traveling this summer.
And through Miami. So if you can avoid it, yeah, don't go through Miami. But the administrator of the Transportation Security Administration said at a news conference last week that this will be the busiest summer travel season we have on record. Not just, since the pandemic, but ever. And then Paula Twydale, who you may recall I interviewed for the AAA podcast, in December, she said that there have not been Memorial Day weekend travel numbers like we are seeing in 20 years. So
Why?
I think people are just ready to get back out there. I mean, we've been saying revenge travel is a thing for a couple of years, but like, for real, people. And I mean, look, we just did it. You've been to Europe since the pandemic. I have not. So I can see it in my own life. Like, all right, let's go to Europe. Let's go do this. Everybody's just ready to go, and it's going to be an insane time. I mean, we got the Olympics coming up in Paris. I think I don't think I'd go to Paris for anything in the next couple of months, even though it's going to be amazing. It's probably going to be the most beautiful it's ever been, but it's also going to be super duper duper crowded. But because it's so busy, they're saying flights are cheaper, which
They're
like
saying,
where I'm not seeing that. They're also saying there are like more seats to fill and there's more airlift, but every flight we were on, there were like people sitting on my lap. It was like a chicken bus in Guatemala. We were so packed in there. Um, I
and
don't know.
you have
I don't know.
status. You have status on these airlines, and we were in the middle seats. So
Yeah.
riddle me this, Batman.
I'm saying. And truly, I mean, I don't know if it was just getting to Stockholm from Florida was a bit of a challenge and, trying to do it within the OneWorld alliance, which ended up being kind of stupid. There were benefits like we were able to go to the lounges even though we weren't in first class. So that was super nice. But then every time we switched to another code share partner like Finnair or Iberia from American Airlines, they were like, "We don't know who you are. We don't have your status. You're nobody. You're in the back." Like it was just a lot of confusion. So I don't know that I would make such an effort next time to fly
Hmm.
on American even though I have status. I don't know.
At least not internationally.
Yeah,
Not
yeah,
when you
exactly.
have to code share. Yeah.
Not when you have to switch to all these other folks. But yeah, it's going to be
Cool.
busy. So if listeners, if you guys are traveling this summer, I would love to know where. So drop us a note and tell us where you're going because I want to go too. Can I come? Yay.
Where you're
No.
going, and if your flights were expensive, more expensive than you thought, or cheaper than you thought. Um, Ben and I are going to Virginia this week, and we're gonna drive because we looked at flights and it just wasn't worth it. I mean, $300-400 to fly to Roanoke, Virginia. So
That's crazy.
we're just gonna drive the 10 hours, easy.
Ugh.
I know,
Ugh.
I
Yeah, I
know.
know. I'm so like, oh, let's go to London in a couple weeks, and then it's like you just forget how absolutely wretched a 10-hour transatlantic flight is. It's wretched. Just think of the things we could have seen had we been near a window. Oh. But I did watch 6 movies over the duration of our flights, which is probably more movies than I watch in a year. So
Mhm.
came back and gave Rick the recap of all the movies that I watched and good times. Anyway, so let's talk about one of the reasons people are traveling so much this summer. Lisa's has something to do with it, and this is not a new concept, but it's called tour tourism. And people are talking about it so much because our girl Taylor Swift is touring in Europe this summer and people are traveling for it.
If you are a Swiftie, you're going to love our topic this week. It is literally all about what to expect when you're traveling for tour tourism, aka Taylor Swift shows, because it's a thing, people. People do it. And it wasn't just Taylor Swift. Like, this has been going on for a long time, but now we have social media and we have Swifties, so we are really seeing this happen. Um, and what is cool and what we've experienced firsthand now, going to the second country that she's performed in, is
This summer.
Americans. Yes, this summer is
Yeah.
Americans have bought tickets abroad and are now traveling to these places, experiencing the countries, and then also going to the show. I don't care who you are. That's cool. That's we're all learning about things. We're all getting culture and learning the history of these places, and also seeing a Taylor Swift show. Um, we went to Sweden. We went to Stockholm to see her, and Ange found this Facebook group of Americans going to these shows and kind of connecting and meeting up and sharing tips. So you were watching firsthand questions people were asking, plans people were making, and right off the bat, my favorite thing. Well, we have traveled to Europe before, so we are familiar with Europe. A lot of these people, this is their first time traveling abroad. And so they get there and they're surprised that their hotel and their Airbnb does not have air conditioning. So people, if you are going to Europe for a Taylor Swift show, there's not going to be air conditioning.
Not always. No, and guess what? It was like the hottest day of the year when we got to Stockholm. And our options were leave the window open at night and listen to every single conversation on the street from the bar below, and the seagulls, which inexplicably start screaming bloody murder at about 11 p.m. every night. I mean, screaming. And we don't know why. So it was that, leave the window open and absolutely don't even think about sleeping, but have a little bit of climate pleasantness, or keep it shut and have no ventilation and be hot and try to sleep. So, these are some of the things. And this was not a cheap hotel room. Now, this was not a cheap hotel room, probably because the concert really increased prices in the area, but it was a lovely little hotel we stayed in. We stayed at the Story Hotel, which is like a Hyatt brand, like a boutique Hyatt brand. And it was super cute. We had breakfast every day and very cozy, great service. And we stayed in the middle of everything. This is probably one thing that I'm all about. When I took you to Paris, when we've gone to London, we have stayed 48 miles outside of the city center in order to, save money on accommodation. And I'm not doing that anymore, because staying in the best part of Stockholm and everything being walkable, literally everything we wanted to do was in easy walking distance. So that was worth it. We used public transportation one time in 5-6 days. So
which for Stockholm, it was very doable. I think if you go, like for Paris, you will take public transportation.
Yeah.
Stockholm was very small, and you could get to everything you need to get to within 30 minutes. Easy.
It was so easy.
Easy. Everyone spoke English. That was great. May not be the case for every other show she's touring. Where is she going next? And then next and next and next.
This weekend, by the time this episode comes out, she will be done with the Lisbon shows. She's got multiple shows in Germany coming up. She's got 8 nights in London or something. She's going to Wales. She's going to Liverpool, Dublin, Edinburgh, Madrid. So quite a few more. I mean, she's got shows all summer with Paramore opening. So loved that. Paramore was great. But here's the thing that people do not realize, especially people who just aren't in the Swiftie world and so wouldn't buy a Taylor Swift ticket for anything. But people are always asking me, how can you afford to pay, $2,000 for a ticket? I'm like, I'm not paying $2,000 for a ticket no matter what. But you absolutely can if you're buying them on the resale market in the US. And so I was looking up some data about this. And let me see. Prices have increased following the release of Tortured Poets. The average get in the door price, the lowest price available, hovers around $2,600 per ticket in the US. And so we're talking $5,000 for us two to go, just for a ticket to get to any of these upcoming US shows, Miami, New Orleans, Indianapolis, all coming up in this fall, right? So guess how much our tickets cost in Stockholm, everybody? You're just not going to believe it. I got them on Ticketmaster when they came online. You had to sign up. You had to jump through all the hoops. I basically had to learn Swedish because the whole website was in Swedish and I couldn't get it to switch to English. So I learned a lot. Tried to get tickets at every European date. I was like, we're going to see what happens. It doesn't matter where. We tried to get Singapore. We tried to get Australia. I literally tried to get tickets everywhere. Stockholm was it. It was the only place that came up. And I was like, all right, we're going to Sweden. Our tickets were $150 each. And we were on the floor. I could have touched
in
Taylor's
the VIP section.
In VIP, basically. $150. I didn't pay no $5,000 for that.
No. You know what we did pay $5,000 for? An entire week.
Right.
With flights, with hotels, with food, with activities. With Taylor Swift for this week in Sweden. That is how you see a concert.
Yes. And I definitely think that is the message that's missing when people are like, oh my gosh, look at all these rich people going to Europe to see Taylor Swift. No, we're going on vacation to Europe and Taylor Swift is there and we're getting to see her for a reasonable amount of money. So versus, I mean, sure, I could go see Taylor Swift in Miami and it would be like a year's worth of mortgage payments. You know what I mean? That's crazy talk. I mean, I still might go, but I might just stand outside and listen, you know, different. But yeah, I definitely think there's this misconception. And what I look at it like, you know, Rick and I go to Costa Rica all the time, basically for dental work. And the reason we do that is because the dental work is 10% of the price we would pay here, but we're spending a week in Costa Rica. So Rick's getting his whatever done. And then we're going fishing, we're going hiking, we're rappelling on waterfalls, we're staying at swanky hotels, and we're spending what we would have spent on just the dental work in stupid Jacksonville. And we would have had no fun. So why not, you know, like, use your money right, people. There's a way to get more bang out of life for your buck. And sometimes that means leaving the United States of antagonism. There's my new, after being in Scandinavia, I'm like, oh my gosh, everyone's so mean here.
And then connecting through Miami on the way back.
Yeah, it was a rough welcome back.
That is the price you pay, is you have to go to Miami.
Yeah, it's so
terrible.
Sick. Anyway, so yeah, apparently, there's this phenomenon called the Swift lift, which is what these destinations are getting. And I read something that said Singapore did some kind of wheeling and dealing to make sure they were the only place in Southeast Asia that got tailored dates. So they would get all that influx of tourism and dollars and spending. And I will say Stockholm was so lovely. They completely leaned in. They had this whole like Swift Home campaign. It was very cute. The McDonald's had a DJ after party, which we missed. I'm very sad about. We saw it the next day on TikTok. But they had like an after party. The mall had this whole Swiftie get ready suite where you could get your nails done. You could get free tattoos, real tattoos. You could get temporary tattoos. What else did they have? Hairstyling. They like, crafts to like pimp out your outfit with Taylor Swift stuff. They were so thoughtful about it. And I mean, every destination that is going to get a Swift concert throughout the summer, you have time to build on it. Do you see Liverpool? I don't know if you've seen what Liverpool is doing. It's already like renaming the town, and it's so lovely. And they are getting such an influx of visitors who might never have gone there. Why not capitalize on that? Because what? We've gone to Stockholm now because of Taylor Swift. I would go to Stockholm again.
Yeah. And you forgot to mention every restaurant we went to or walked by was playing Taylor Swift.
That's
so
yes.
Truly everybody was just like in on it. And I hope all the other countries are doing this. I mean, it sounds like they are. As to what level, I don't know. But Taylor Swift is a good person and she boosts economy. And at least when she was performing in America, I know she was donating like thousands and thousands of dollars to
like $1 million.
Yeah, to place. Charities, to the places she was going. So I'm sure she's doing that in Europe.
Yeah.
Everyone who hates Taylor Swift, you're a trash person.
You heard it here first, folks. I mean, listen, if that's your whole personality is hating something, then I don't have time for that.
You don't have
whether it's Taylor Swift or
you don't have to be a Swiftie. You don't have to love Taylor Swift, but you have to appreciate what she does and her music. And it's not all about breakups. And if you think it's all about breakups, then I hate you. I'm fired up today.
I have to say that I love this side of Ray Ray, because normally it's me being like, you're not going to believe this. And Ray Ray is coming in hot today with the Female Rage the Musical, and I'm here for it.
Well, you go back and you listen to our earlier podcast where you bring up Taylor Swift and we're like, please stop, it's too much. But now, I don't know, you go to a concert and she just changes you.
Well, you know why?
Because Female Rage the Musical.
No, it's the witchcraft.
Oh, that's right.
Because Taylor Swift is a witch. Let me tell you, we had an amazing time. And what I tell my husband when occasionally he's like, again with the Taylor Swift, and I'm like, this is my hobby. I have to listen to you talking about fishing. Like, I'm going to talk about Taylor Swift, who is basically like my Jane Austen. Like, she's my modern day. She talks about girly stuff, wraps it up in girly stuff, and really it's commentary on society and
the patriarchy. That's what it is. That's what gets me, is everyone who says she just talks about breakups and this and that isn't hearing what she's actually saying, because they're thinking about it surface level, and that's not what it is. Oh my God.
Just like Jane Austen. It's truly a parallel. Like, here's me and my Venn diagram of Taylor Swift and Jane Austen, where literally, like, men blew Jane Austen off and they were like, a girl writing about stuff. All she writes about is relationships. Dig a little bit deeper, and it's like, it really sucks that we're getting sold off to the highest bidder as women in Regency England. Literally, same whole concept. So
Okay,
very smart.
we can't continue, or this will
Listen,
never end.
tell me you didn't take AP English without telling me you didn't take AP
True,
English. Okay.
truly,
Okay.
truly.
I'm in the AP English to Swiftie pipeline. Whatever. And
I'm
I
gonna
don't
get
care.
my master's degree, and my thesis is gonna be about Taylor Swift.
Listen,
Taylor,
can I
Taylor,
just
Taylor, if you're listening, I love you, and you're doing amazing, sweetie. Um, you're not listening. You were very busy, and this is not that
absolutely not.
entertaining.
I absolutely would go get a master's degree in like pop literature, maybe we could call it. And I did. I don't know if you know this, but I wrote my college Spanish paper on Shakira's English language crossover, and I had to give a whole presentation in Spanish on Shakira's English language crossover. Everybody else was their topic. I mean, this was a huge thing that we had to do. And everybody was like, the war in Venezuela and the war on drugs and this and immigration. And I'm like, Shakira's English language crossover. So this is not new. Like, I just think this stuff is so interesting. And there's always more to it. Like, you can always learn. It's not always the surface stuff that you see on like gossip TV. You know what I mean?
Let's wrap this up with a bow. Check out where if you're a Swiftie, check out where she's going and go visit that place, because the country's doing it up. Fun to explore. Hey, summer's the time to travel, and apparently flights are cheaper, so everybody wins.
We should also say it's not like there are readily available tickets. You are going to have to do some serious dancing and figuring out and whatever. And every country, what? Yeah, I am sure. Every country has different rules.
Listen, Linda, listen.
Okay.
Our Stockholm was sold out, but it wasn't sold out.
Okay, Stockholm was sold out until we were there, and then they released some production tickets. So I guess they save X amount of tickets for each show in case families want to come, maybe the dancers' families or the band's families. And because it was Stockholm and it was freaking hard to get to and expensive to get to, I think, that just happened to be a less attended show. So there were some extra that came up on Ticketmaster. Y'all, we're talking $60 for the cheap seats. $60. And the cheap seats are not bad at a Taylor Swift concert because the whole stage comes to life. It's not just, you're just not seeing a person singing. There's sets. It's huge. It's like a musical. It's a whole thing. It's just so much more than you would imagine. Now,
okay, so check for tickets. Definitely do that. Also, just be aware there's no air conditioning. Look for the fun things to do. There's many things. Get Your Guide is a great website if you're looking for like top tourist attractions of things. Don't lose your passport. The huge.
I mean, join the Facebook group. So, hot tip, I just joined Facebook groups for Dublin, Edinburgh, London, Germany, and Madrid, like just in case. I mean, I don't have tickets, but here's a fun thing for our listeners. The Jet brother called me yesterday and he wants to go now. So we might be going back to Europe, if we can get some tickets. If anybody out there has tickets, call me. I will buy them from you. Amazing. I will go anywhere. As you well know, I'll go anywhere.
So we don't have a disaster this week because there is no disaster with Taylor Swift. So we're skipping disaster. I guess Miami was the disaster.
Yeah.
Have fun. The pool guy's here, so now the dogs are losing their mind. Okay, before we wrap up our T Swift party, anything to add?
Yes. So they were predicting there were going to be 120,000 people from 130 countries coming to Stockholm for the Taylor Swift concerts. There were 3 nights. And they were expecting about 10,000 from the US. And what's so funny is we knew several people who were also there. So this is not like, I think people look at us and think, oh, Angie and Rachel, they do crazy things. This is not a crazy thing. We had so many friends that were there that we met up with from various times in our lives and various industries and various, it's not like, the travel girls. It was just people who did what we did and wanted to do it cheaper and wanted to have a summer vacation, wanted to get back to Europe. And you can do this for other artists who are touring too. It's not like it's just Taylor Swift. You had a friend who went to what, Iceland to see Beyonce, wasn't it?
No, it was Sweden. It was Stockholm.
It?
Yeah, to see Beyonce.
Look, the ticket situation in the United States is the worst. If you can get them, great. If you can't, you're looking at just insanely inflated prices. So if you like to travel, and obviously you do because you listen to our podcast, this could be your chance to go see some really great places and a great concert and make friends and exchange friendship bracelets. Like, we made friendship bracelets in the park. Come on. It was amazing.
My biggest regret is we met a couple girls from Orlando. Ugh. And I did not get their names or their information. Like, just randomly, they were like, "Can you take a picture of us?" Sure. "Oh, where are you from?" "Orlando." And then just the screaming happened. Like
screaming ensued. Yeah, it was really cool. And all the Swedish folks were so kind, and they were just like, "Oh, you're obviously American. You're very loud. We love you. Thank you for being here." And just like, have so much fun. And the weather is great for you. And be sure you get coffee. Like, just the loveliest. So, I mean, I can't say that's going to be the case in every city that, that welcomes Taylor Swift this summer. But apparently the 40,000 hotel rooms in Stockholm were all sold out. And they're expecting 46 million into the local economy just from the weekend. $46 million.
Good job, Taylor. Good job, Swifties. That's huge.
Way to put money into the tourist economy and kickstart life after the pandemic. Rock on.
Yeah. Let's rock and roll. Flip tables.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So, hey, what are you doing this week?
Ideally nothing. I'm hoping to swim in my pool, and I'm really tired. Like, I'm fine on the jet lag, but I am sleeping so hard, and like 9-10 hours. My body is like, girl, we can't do that stuff anymore. Like, I don't know about 24 hours of straight travel. It's not so easy. I need to win the lottery so I can lie flat while flying across the ocean.
Yes.
Unless I can find Taylor Swift tickets in any upcoming place, and then bye, I'm going to Europe.
See, I feel like I have done it, so now I need to let somebody else do it.
Oh, that's so altruistic of you. I don't feel like that. I feel like first come, first serve, out of my way, loser. Give me that ticket. No, I see what you're saying. And I've actually seen some pushback about all the Americans are scooping up all the European availability.
Stockholm was not sold out. That's all I'm going to say is Stockholm was not sold out. Well, I'm driving to Virginia. I already said that.
Yeah.
I'm going to go hang out with Ashley and Lark.
Oh, yeah. I'm babysitting your dogs.
Yeah. So I'm dropping.
That's what I'm doing.
The dogs off. Thanks for watching my dogs. And then tomorrow we are doing our house inspection. So by tomorrow, I will know if I am going to have a house.
Yee, that's kind of nerve-wracking, especially after your last experience.
Yeah, I had a nightmare last night about it. It was not the house, and I was like, I guess I have to buy it. It's terrible, but it'll be fine. Excellent. All right, give me your unhinged sign-off.
Welcome to summer. You may now wear white shoes. Bye.
Okay, here's mine. Catch you on the flip side when we both find our lost socks in the Bermuda Triangle of laundry. And it's funny because we flew over the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah.
So it makes sense.
Did you lose your socks or something?
No.
Okay. Right. Anyways, bye, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.